So is this a game changer for Britain? To tackle these topics and many more, I'm delighted to welcome former government minister, best-selling author and television personality Anne Widdecombe. Anne, is this deal good news for Britain?
Oh, it's hugely good news for Britain, something we couldn't have done while we were in the EU. One of the things we said we wanted to do when we left the EU was to set up our own trade agreements. This is a really major achievement because we're with all the big players like Australia and Canada, Japan, Singapore, and we'll be able to do tariff-free trade with those massive economies. So it's a huge, huge step in the right direction. And we could not have done it without Brexit. And that is the point that we need to make all the time. Every time we achieve something because of Brexit, it's played down. Anytime something goes wrong that people want to blame on Brexit, it's played up. Now, this fortunately has got the headlines. I think even the BBC can't ignore this one. You know, this is a big plus benefit of Brexit. And it opens up a whole set of new economies, tariff-free trade, makes us part of a massive trading bloc, and without all the rules and subjugation that came with the EU.
Not surprising, Anne, that so many sore loser Remainers have been giving this deal short shrift, including in the media.
Yes, I mean, it's not surprising at all. The Remainers haven't got over their defeat. They still have hopes of rejoining. But that is a long way down the track. What they're trying to do stage by stage is simply to get us nearer to the EU. When something like this happens that takes us further from the EU, they don't, of course, like it. But it's one of the things that Britain was promised. You know, if we leave the EU, we'll be able to set up trade deals. And everybody said, oh, yes, ha, 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 you know, you'll get a little deal here and a little deal there. You're not going to get something really big like the EU. We've got something much better than the EU.
Critics have said, Anne, that it could only add 0.08% to our GDP, our gross domestic product, and this pales in comparison with the 4% the economy will lose as a result of Brexit. Your reaction to those figures?
Well, my reaction to those figures is that we're still adding more than we're losing, and that actually this is a game for the medium and the long term. It's not something that tomorrow morning we're suddenly going to see, you know, vast quantities of wealth. But what we are going to see is hugely increased trade opportunities with, as I say, freedom from the pettifogging law that came with EU trade deals. It's not only about figures, it's about freedom.
Yes, because we get free trade, but no loss of sovereignty. Exactly.
That sums it up. Yes, you've summed it up admirably.
Oh, well, there's a first time for everything. And can I also say that I think credit is due to Liam Fox and also to Liz Truss for getting the ball rolling on this one, and, of course, Kemi Badenoch for closing the deal.
Yes, very much to Liz Truss, who really did start this one going and did all that she could while she was getting other trade deals. You know, she wasn't just dealing with this one. So I think huge credit to her and to those others who've been involved, to Liam and to Kemi. Yes, that's absolutely true. But above all, it's because of Brexit. We couldn't have done it without Brexit. Now, you know, in many ways, we haven't yet got Brexit. We haven't yet taken full advantage of Brexit. But this today is exactly what we were all hoping for.
However, Anne, it's time to throw a spanner in the works. Because was it not Rishi Sunak's much maligned Windsor Framework which unlocked this deal?
I don't think you can say that the Windsor Framework unlocked it. This deal has been worked on for a very, very long time, and the detail would not have all been thrashed out in the very short period of time we've had since the Windsor Framework. And the Windsor Framework betrays Northern Ireland, it imperils the Union, it keeps a part of the UK under EU law, which has, of course, a ratchet effect on the rest of the UK. So, no, I'm not going to be seduced into saying, oh, this is all due to the Windsor Framework. This is due to a lot of awfully hard work that's been going on for several years on the part of government ministers, civil servants, trade experts, and all the countries involved, of course. It is not just Britain. This is a tremendous step forward.
And of course, this agreement is another barrier to re-entry, to rejoining the EU, which would be a democratic travesty. It's an insurance policy against going back into the arms of the EU. Can I ask you, though, Anne, and I appreciate your positive tone on this one. I'm delighted too. And I got dog's abuse on this show on Friday for being very enthusiastic about this new agreement. But why does it matter to my viewers and listeners?
Well, it matters because it means that we can, as I say, we get tariff-free trade with some of the world's greatest economies. It doesn't come with all the law that used to hamper such agreements with the EU. And it's going to make a difference, therefore, to the wealth of the nation. And anything that makes a difference to the wealth of the nation makes a difference to your viewers and to all of us.
Yes, indeed. And it places us at the heart of Asia, which is going to be the great growing economy of the 21st century. And can we talk about those delays in Dover? My heart goes out to the many Brits trying to get to France for their holidays. Is it due to Brexit?
No. Brexit itself isn't to blame for anything. It's what people have done with Brexit that makes the difference. Now, this is all happening on the French side. This is French inefficiency. This is the French saying they're going to make our lives awkward precisely because of Brexit. Now, the net result will be that sooner or later people are going to say, well, we won't go to France, we'll go somewhere else where it's more efficient. But it's not just deliberate provocation. It is much more inefficiency, failure to provide enough staff at the very moment that there was going to be increased traffic, because it is, after all, the holidays. That's not rocket science to work that out. But France is in a bit of a pickle in general at the moment, so perhaps the poor things just can't quite get it right.